It's the moment you've all been waiting for the last 10 days. It's the end of another international break, and that can only mean one thing. The Steakhouse is back with your latest dose of Premier League talking points and tips. I'm Conor McCabe. My co-pilot, as ever, is the one, the only Lucas Dzinski. How are we doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Just happy that this is the last international break until March. So really excited for that. Yeah, ready for the Christmas running. Buzzing. It's going to be football basically more or less every day.
Apart from Boxing Day, though, isn't
Well,
it
yeah,
sad that they've trimmed that? That's a shocker of a move, I have to say. But
not happy with that at all.
agreed. You're right, though. The festive period is obviously a very, very exciting time in football land. So happy about that as well.
Football and in life.
You what, sorry?
In football and in life.
No,
Exciting time.
I said in football land.
Oh, yeah, and in life. Well, I said and in life.
Well, either way can work. Anyway, let's get stuck straight into the latest game week. We're kicking off with Burnley versus Chelsea as our early dose. Now, I mean, looking at Chelsea, what's a good season for them? If you're a Chelsea fan, what would you say translates as a successful season for the Blues?
I mean, Chelsea fans probably would want to be challenging for the title, right? But they're not at that stage yet. Missing Palmer, I feel like, again, the inconsistencies of last season are the case this season as well. I reckon, look, they get Champions League football, which probably should. Who knows? It's a long season. I think Chelsea fans will be happy with that. But then again, like, where do they go from here? Right? Is Maresca the man? Who knows?
Yeah,
because a lot were saying end of last season, they were like, should he still be here, right?
Yeah, it's fourth place on its own enough. I don't know. I think as an absolute minimum, you need a very good cup run to accompany that. Anyway, they're away at Burnley for this game week, and I'm coming straight in with my first tip for you all. First game back, first tip. This is how we do it over at Stakehouse Live. Anyway, I am highlighting a player that's banging form, and it hurts me to do this, mate. It really hurts me to do this because as a United stalwart, I didn't want this boy to be successul. But he is proving that there is life after us, and he seems to be adapting really, really well.
Proving like everyone.
Yeah, it is a common theme. I agree. His name is Alejandro Garnacho, and he's actually made that front left position his own, and looks a lot more dangerous than he had done early season. He's getting a run of games. He's hitting form. He's building confidence. I think his assist price is really nice. He got an assist against Wolves. Could have had a second one. Was a bit unfortunate. But his assist price is 5.5. Again, this is a game against Burnley, who are very porous, defying their XG metrics a little bit here in terms of not conceding as many as they probably should have. And if Garnacho can isolate himself against the right full, I think he can have a bit of a field day there. So I'm tipping up Garnacho for an assist at 5.5. What's your model saying in terms of the match outcome?
I mean, I think it's fair, the pricing. I've got Chelsea like over a goal better than Burnley. Burnley have been getting really unlucky in terms of the results they've been getting. They should actually be rock bottom on expected points. So I don't expect him to get anything this game.
There you go. So maybe a safe one for the active, but always be wary of the early kickoff, as we like to say.
Yeah, as Gandhi said, never back the early kickoff.
There you go. All
Unless
right.
you're a mug like Connell.
Let's move on to the next game, because a mug like Connell's got a hell of a price for you here.
Oh, yeah?
Price of the season. I'm calling this bet. This is unbelievable, right?
Okay, go on then.
So let me paint a picture. So it's Bournemouth versus West Ham. Have West Ham turned the corner now? Potentially 2 wins out of 2. Two very, very good results. I mean, Newcastle at home. Nobody expected them to get a result there.
Yeah.
They won fairly convincingly in the end. Burnley
But
at
is
home.
it more down to Newcastle? We'll talk about Newcastle.
No, I hear you.
Later.
I hear you. I'm not saying that West Ham have turned into Brazil. And as well as that, obviously, they then went on and got the job done against Burnley, which was important to consolidate. So yeah, they're obviously in that spot now where things are improving for them a little bit. Now, Paqueta's out for this game week, which I was initially a little bit worried about, but I've dug in and found another player who came in late on the scene of their 2-1 defeat away at Leeds, which is the last game they lost. And he had a really good 30-minute cameo, and he's been in the team ever since. And that player is Matheus Fernandes. He had a shot on target in his first game when he came on. He's been a little bit quiet in the shots department in the last 2 games, which I'm really pleased about because I think it's driven his shots price up. He has created 3 chances in both games. He's fast becoming their talisman from an attacking point of view. And he is going to be in and around it here for sure in an end-to-end game, which I feel that this game will be. So I was very interested to look at his shots on target prices. And I'm thinking, look, if we get something around 2.5 here, then I think it's a must hit. The actual price for me is probably closer to even. So I was checking the shots prices on 365, praying to get 2.5. I got better than that. I got 3.5, which is, in my view, an absolutely amazing price. Not only the 3.5 for 1 shot on target, but I think we have to go into the two shots on target market as well at 19 here. So I think both of these are massive runners. Again, in a game where Burnley like to play high intensity, high press football, if you can breach that press, there is space in behind. And Matheus Fernandes is going to be in a lot of the right positions to fire off. With Paqueta out of the team, he might take a little bit more initiative as well in firing from range. All of these things build into this price. So 3.5 here on Matheus Fernandes to have at least 1 shot on target. You can use Bet365 for the sub on play on feature and just make sure you check the lineup an hour before kickoff to make sure he starts. But my advice is get on that price now. I'm actually advocating going 2 points on this one because I think the price is really fair. So 2 points on the 1 shot.
2 points. Nap of the season.
I just think, not nap of the season, but price of the season. 2 points on the shot.
Price of the season is basically nap of the season, no? Because you're saying
in a way,
it's value of the season.
Value of the season. I'll give you that.
Well,
one.
yeah. Well, that's basically nap of the season, no?
But also do yourself a favour and risk half a point at the 2 shots on target at 19. That's a very, very tasty bit of value. 19, yeah, for 2 shots on target. And it's a runner, trust me. In terms of the game itself, I feel like Bournemouth will edge it. I'm going to say 2-1 Bournemouth. Have you got anything?
Nah, got nothing this game. I've got Bournemouth like a half a goal better. There are some rumours that, well, not rumours, Semenyo came off quite early, international. During his international game, so he could be injured for the game. So again, if you're looking to put a bet on this game, especially on Bournemouth, or likewise on West Ham the other way, that kind of team news could work in your favour. So just listen out to the conferences before, I'd say. Yeah,
good bit of advice, and that's an interesting take on Semenyo because if he doesn't play, I think it changes the complexion of that game completely, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's move on and talk about your boys, Brighton versus Brentford. I mean, I was a little bit surprised to see Brentford at 4.0 here. It's a big price. I also noticed when they were 1-0 down to Newcastle the other week, they were 6.0 to turn it around at halftime. At home at the G-Tech, I remember flirting with it because I thought that's quite a nice price, even though they're a goal down. And of course, it would have romped home. Didn't do it, but it would have romped home. But are they a bit?
I did.
Did you?
I only put a small stake on, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, but not at half time before actually. But yeah, still got a decent price for it, yeah.
I mean, are the markets being fair to the Bees?
I think so. I think start of the season there was a bit of value, but I feel like as the season's gone on, there's probably been less value, to be honest. Saying that, there's probably some small value against Brighton, but not enough for me to put a bet on it, to be honest. But yeah, I wouldn't shy away. I wouldn't shy Brentford plus a half. Been playing really well last few games, so let's see.
Yeah, I was really close myself as well, but in the end, just couldn't quite go over the line. But I think Brentford plus a half. I think it's 1.98 on the exchange. That's something like that. So it's. I think it's close. If you're going to swing one way, I'd swing that way. I personally see an entertaining 2-2 draw here. Let's talk about Fulham versus Sunderland. I'll let you kick off here. What's your model saying?
got Fulham actually quite a bit better than Sunderland. Sunderland have been one of the major overperformers in terms of expected goals. They should actually be 15th. They're massively overperforming. Saying that, Fulham have been pretty poor as well. If they had a slightly better season, I'd be tempted to back Fulham at home as like -quarter, but you don't know what Fulham's going to turn up, right? What teams are going to turn up? They've been quite underwhelming this season.
Yep.
I mean, they should really win this, to be honest, but I don't know where it's going to go.
It's a tough one to back. I agree. I mean, my thoughts on Fulham and Silva. I think Silva's in line for the Nottingham Forest job at the end of the season, which I'm pretty strong on with his links to Marinakis. I think Dyche is a stopgap. So I don't know how invested Silva is anymore. Sunderland have just done so well. They deserve so much credit. I get they're outperforming their XG, but they might, to get as many points on the board as they have, and the way that they rallied against Arsenal, by the way, in a way that nobody else has, to breach them twice, I think they deserve a hell of a lot of credit. I get that their performances will the XG will catch up with them. 100% get that. It's hard to clarify when, because they're on such a positive vibe right now that it feels like that wave's just going to ride a little bit longer yet. So for me, this is an avoid. I think it's a dangerous game to get involved with on a betting front. If you push me, I might just edge towards Fulham, but at the price they are with the bookies, I don't think there's any way that you can get on board with backing them. So it's a sit this one out for me, and it sounds like it is for you as well. Let's move on and talk about Liverpool versus Forest. I mean, is this a good game or a bad game for a Liverpool side that's probably looking to reset?
I think any game at home is a good game right after if you want to reset. I think against City they were a bit unfortunate. They did get smashed 3-0 on the scoreline, but in terms of chances created, expected goals, it was a bit more even than that. That goal disallowed, they got to make it 1-1. Bit controversial, I'd say. If that happens 1-1, then game on again, right?
Do you think it was a goal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. The thing is, though, by the law, is probably not, just because he was in that proximity of the goalkeeper. But it's just frustrating for Liverpool and for me as well, because obviously I had Liverpool plus a half that game. Robertson didn't need to be there. Like, he didn't give any advantage to the goal. It isn't like goal being scored, do you know what I mean? He didn't block off the keeper, he didn't block any defender off it, etc. So if he wasn't in there, it would have been a goal. But because he was there, then obviously he has to disallow the goal. That's the frustrating thing. That's the way I see it.
100%, and I think the bigger problem is not actually the proximity to the goalkeeper, but the fact that he was smack in line with the ball. Obviously, he had to duck out of the way of it.
Yeah.
But let's supposing the goalkeeper's got to account. Obviously, don't get me wrong, Donnarumma was getting nowhere near it. It was going in. But let's supposing a different situation where the keeper might get it. But with a player in line and flight of the ball, he could choose to head it the other way or he could choose to leave it. And that means the goalkeeper's got to delay a split second before being able to try and save. So I can see why it was disallowed. In terms of this game, Liverpool potentially resetting. I think they need to reset, and maybe the international break's given them a chance. Although Dominic Szoboszlai might not be in his best mood coming back. Had to slip in the Irish comment there. I mean, they should still get over the line against Forest, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got them a whole goal better, so I expect them to get a result here.
Cool, there you go. If you want a prediction, I think could be a few goals in this one, maybe 3-1 Liverpool, something like that. Let's go on to the next game where we have an official tip waiting for us, and it comes from me. But I think first, before we discuss the tip in Wolves versus Palace, we have to discuss Rob Edwards. Was it the right move for him to jump ship from Middlesbrough and go to Wolves?
Not sure, to be honest. Obviously, he did like a good job at Luton, but then when they were down the champ, struggled, right? It was really really bad. It was, yeah. I mean, so you kind of think like, okay, he had 1 or 2 good seasons, got promoted, and is that it? Because in the Premier League they played all right. Obviously they didn't stay up though. I was hoping they would stay up because they were getting some good results, but I think they kind of tailed off towards the end. Look, I think Wolves are kind of desperate anyway, right? They had to bring someone in. Might as well bring someone who knows the league. I don't think anyone else would want that job. I don't think they got much cash either, have they? So,
really painting a positive picture of it from there. I mean, look, from my perspective,
I mean, Wolves have been yo-yoing around, not yo-yoing around, but they've been flirted with relegation for a few seasons now. So,
I mean, from my perspective, I think Edwards has done the right thing, right? Because let's just face facts. There's no loyalty left in football anymore, right? So,
yeah, I mean, why not? Of course you're going to take it. Of course you're going to take that job.
But I get that, and there's a chance to jump back into the Premier League. It seems obvious. But I think for managers, it's like when your stock's low, you lose your job. That's what happens now, right? You're never more than 2 games away from being in trouble. Equally, when your stock's high, you should lose your job for the other reason. You should lose your job when you get offered a better one. That's the way it is. It's knee jerk, right? So if things aren't going your way, you know that you're going to suffer the consequences. Equally, when things are going your way, it's really important to take that next step up the ladder in terms of whatever that means. You look at a few examples of recent years. Look at Xabi Alonso when he won the league with Leverkusen, right? I mean, he was the best manager on the planet. Liverpool wanted him. Real Madrid wanted him. Everybody wanted him. His stock is still obviously very high, but not in the same way that it was, right?
Yeah,
and
sure, but
if you hang on a minute, if you look at another one, Kieran McKenna, right, took Ipswich up. At that moment, he was pursued by United, Chelsea were considering him, all of these clubs. He was the hottest manager in the Premier League all of a sudden. It was ridiculous. And now look at him, right? It's kind of he's basically the forgotten man now in terms of Premier League. Maresca, he was one that made the move at exactly the right time. Is he good enough for Chelsea? We don't really know. But what he did was he took advantage of his current situation and made that move when he was his highest point. There's a skill to it and there's an art to it. And ultimately, Rob, if Middlesbrough don't get promoted, then he's made a huge mistake, right? And even if Wolves do go down, which does look like they will, but then he has a more than capable squad in terms of being basically in the same position as he is right now. So completely, from my side, I completely get it. I think he's definitely done the right thing.
Yeah, he's done the right thing, but have Wolves done the right thing? I think
that's another question entirely.
I think that's the question, should be answering, right?
Who would you have had instead, though?
Well, that's what I mean. There's no one there, right? No one wants the job.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. All right, I mean, in terms of the tip, let's get on to that. So, obviously, my thoughts on Palace.
Going down.
I don't think they're going down, but I think that they're... I think the squad's too thin. I've said that all the time. The thing that contracts it in this game is that they've had a week off, a lot of them, which has been longer.
Yeah, Gay's injured.
Gay's injured as well. Which
Wharton played for England.
Not too much though. Only 5 minutes, and I know he played the other night. But yeah, either way, look, I'm still opposing Palace. I'm just basically trying to look at it from a fair view in terms of there's pros and cons to it. But in terms of, I just think that the new manager bounce has to be taken into account here, because whatever you say about whether Wolves have done the right thing, Edwards is a local man. He absolutely loves the club. The club love him. It's like welcome home, all of this stuff. The place is going to be buzzing. They might just get that new manager bounce. And at the price of 3.5 for them to win at home, I think they can win this game more than 1 in 3.5 times. That's my thought process. Do I think it's definitely going to land? No. I just think the price with the new manager element, we see it so often that he's got a home game. It's the perfect start. He will be thinking, if there's any chance for us to stay up, we have to win this game. Have to. And I think that's the way he's going to set up, and he's going to go out all guns blazing. And for that reason, I think Wolves are just about worth a punt at 3.5. This is not one for your XG data scientist.
I was about to say I think this is wrong, but yeah, who knows?
It's not one for your XG data scientist to get involved with. This is just one of a little bit of intuition, thinking ahead, thinking about the way that both teams might set up, maybe by the way it plays out. Gehi actually being out supports the bet even more. I would have to
Yeah.
say. I think he's so important
Yeah.
for them. So, but let's see. I'm gonna tip a narrow 1-0 Wolves win, but the tip is Wolves to win at 3.5.
Okay.
Newcastle versus Manchester City. Do you think Pep Guardiola would ever play Phil Foden as a false nine?
Why not?
I mean, do you like the concept of a false nine in football or not?
Not really, to be honest.
I'm not a fan of it either.
I don't
It's
think
like
it works.
I don't think so. I think Alan Pardew was talking about this on Talksport. He's like making a big case for just not having a false nine in terms of just an out and out player playing on the last line of defence there to pick up the pieces, the tap ins, and be in the box and kind of mix it with the centre backs is a better way to go. If you are going to play it, you definitely need players from the wide angles running on and getting in behind. Otherwise, if the defence can see everything in front of them, which they will do with a false nine, it's just much more easy to manage and deal with. So I'm not 100% sure. However, I've got another bet for this game, and Newcastle have quietly conceded 6 goals in the last 2 games, and suddenly Eddie Howe is
Struggling.
under pressure. Like, suddenly people are looking at him. He's been there 4 years now. One obviously very good season where they got into the Champions League, won the Carabao, but has he done enough? I mean, obviously they've been very unlucky with how they've been kind of like arms tied behind their back with the FFP stuff, but
have they though?
they're finding it hard to
Look who they
spend.
signed. Look who they signed this season, right? Players. Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't think they've spent their money well. They've had, right?
I mean, Voldemort has been a great buy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll yet to see if he's the player that they think he is, right?
I mean, yeah, but I think you've.
He didn't. He was awful against Brentford.
Okay.
I mean, look, the rest of the team were pretty bad as well, to be honest. But look, Dan Burns suspended for this game as well.
I mean, I think he's fallen off a cliff this year. I don't think.
To be honest, he has. He had a horrific game against Brentford, so
I don't think that's a bad thing for the team at all. But
it will have an impact. He's a bit of a leader for them, right?
yeah, true, and a big threat at set pieces. So both defending and attacking. So all of this adds up in favour of my bet. I just think City at even money is just a really fair price. You know, if they conceded 6 goals in 2 games, one of which, fair enough, Brentford are okay, but West Ham, I mean, in terrible form. So it doesn't strike you with any confidence, really. Obviously, the home advantage will help here. But I just think Erling Haaland will be, fresh from his Norway exploits, I think he'll be licking his lips here in terms of getting at the Toon defence. And I'm happy to take evens for a point on City just to win this game and keep the pressure. They're in a good moment. They've just beaten Liverpool 3-0. And I get maybe a slight overperformance in terms of result, but still, it's an important win. And I think they'll want to consolidate here. So happy to take City at even money for a point.
I got this game to be purely on XG. I got this game to be closer. City marginally better. But I feel like the way Newcastle are playing, I can't see him winning this. Look, I mean, playing at home, but City's finishing has just been just amazing, right? Last few games. I know that's not going to continue, but Newcastle's just been poor. Honestly, the West Ham game, Brentford game is just horrific.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't got anything this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if the game's quite tighter than you think.
Go on, get off the fence. Give us a
Newcastle are not going to get smashed, but they'll end up losing probably 1-0 by 1 goal.
Okay, so you're just about on board. Okay,
barely on board.
Barely on board. All right, let's talk about Leeds versus Aston Villa. Look, I know that we're pleased it's the end of the international break, but we should at least pay some reference to it. I mean, Ollie Watkins, would you take him and put him on the plane next year or not?
What? Sorry, what? Put him on the plane to the World Cup?
England squad.
I'd still would want to bring back Tony. I think he had something different. Saw it in the last tournament in Euros when he came on. Just add something different, right? I think England need that, like a plan B, right? Kane's obviously going to play every single game, start every game, but if that doesn't work, you need someone different. I think Watkins doesn't really give you much. He's not. I mean, Villa aren't really playing well this season either. Obviously, you don't want to bring Tony, who's smashing it in Saudi, but apparently he's going to be coming on loan, so on in Jan. So we'll see.
Oh, really? Exciting times.
Yeah.
I think I would want to take Tony for the mentality. I think there's I mean, obviously he's a good footballer. I think his qualities are very different to Watkins. But Tony's got the strut. He's got that confidence and kind of put the pressure on my shoulders kind of thing. Let me deal with it. I really like that about him. And I think in this kind of tournament, you need players with that genuine belief and mentality monsters. Tony strikes me as a mentality monster, so I can completely see why he's in the frame. But I just think Watkins has tailed off a little bit in the last 12 months, maybe since the middle of last season. I just don't think he's at his absolute peak anymore. And right now, for example, somebody like Danny Welbeck, who's kind of going a little bit more under the radar, is equal. Well, he's banging him in. Why not? I mean, this, as you've mentioned, Kane's going to start every game. Whether that's right in itself, by the way, I don't necessarily agree with. I mean, if England come in and get a pretty light group, which is possible with 48 teams this time, there's quite a high chance that there'll be some whipping boys in the group with them. I mean, why
Ireland or someone?
Fair, but why? I mean, that's a perfect point, right? Do England need Harry Kane playing up front to beat Ireland? Absolutely not, right? So why does Harry Kane have to play every game? Why does any of them have to? The key here, when it's so hot out there, is going to be rotation. So I wouldn't necessarily be playing Kane every game. I worry about Watkins' overall form. He probably will get the call up. I'm just not convinced he is definitely the best number two. I think there's different options, as you said, Tony, and there's players in better form right now, like, Danny Welbeck. In terms of the game itself, again, this is another one where I don't know if the stats are going to back me up, but I do have an official tip. I just think Leeds are really good at home. Really got good home fans. Ellen Road is an intimidating atmosphere. I'm still not sold on Villa. I just don't think they're quite the same side. There's quite the same energy around them. Last few games they have picked up and improved, but my spiny senses just tell me that Leeds at home are probably going to win this game. I think they'll have enough. Daniel Farke's really earmarking the home games and really giving them 110% in terms of getting 3 points. And I think they'll look at this one as a massive opportunity to pick up 3. And I think, again, they're 3-point not. I'm not sure Villa should be such big favourites away at Leeds. I just don't really buy into that. So happy to take a bit of a risk on this one and go because all of my other tips are so surefire. But happy to take a bit of a risk in this one and have a stab at Leeds at 3-point not. What do you think?
I hate to say it, but I agree with you. But I'm being a bit more conservative, less risky than you. And I'm backing Leeds on the Asian handicap 0. So basically, if it's a draw, get your money back. So, good bit of insurance. So you get 2.19 on that. And I agree with you. Leeds been playing well, to be honest. They haven't been really putting the chances away, but I think recently they've played a bit better. Obviously, not a great game against Forest. They were 1-0 up and managed to bottle it 3-1. But look, Villa have been pretty poor this season, and I think on expected points they're actually 18th.
Wow, should be in a relegation zone.
Well, Leeds are 10th, so there you go.
There you go. So that makes the 3-point not on the win look a great value price. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that an official tip from you?
Yeah.
Oh wow, he's arrived. Welcome to the podcast. He's back. He's up with a tip.
2 more games to go, mate. Don't worry.
There is. I've got tips on both of them as well. Let's talk about the North London derby. Seems like Gabriel's injured a muscle. Pulled a muscle. So he'll likely be missing this game, is the information as I know it. How much will that affect Arsenal's watertight defence?
It's not going to affect it at all. I mean, this is probably the game in most recent years where you're probably the most confident on Arsenal. Just the gap between the two teams is so significant this season. Tottenham have been poor. They've been really poor. I thought they'd been much better, to be honest. They're massively overperforming the XG. Yeah, I think Arsenal are just going to smash them, to be honest.
Interesting. Okay.
You don't think that?
No, I couldn't disagree more.
Really?
Yeah, I think Gabriel's a massive loss.
Yeah,
Absolutely massive.
It's not a one-man team, though.
He's basically nearing, obviously nowhere near the same level yet, but he's resembling kind of the John Terry captain, leader, legend figure of this Arsenal side. He is that big in terms of their organisation, their direction, their positivity, their mentality. He's been incredible for them. And I think just suddenly taking him out of that team will undoubtedly have an impact, like massively. Forget whoever they're playing. Arsenal won't be the same team if Jakub Kiwior or somebody like this comes in to partner Saliba instead of Gabriel. That will definitely knock holes in Arsenal, 1,000,000%. It's like when you look at a table and it's got 4 solid legs, so it stands upright. The minute that you take one leg away, the whole lot falls down. But not only that, you're taking away the most important leg. So I really, really do worry for Arsenal in terms of missing him. Depending on how long that's for, could even open the championship race back up. Let's see. In terms of this game, I think you're saying Spurs have been poor. Maybe that's a tiny bit harsh. I think they've been inconsistent. I think they've looked okay in some games, in some parts, and they've normally looked okay when they're away from home. And you think of the 0-2 away at Man City as a very good example of that. So
they were quite fortunate, I'd say. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they sat back well and then had the chances and they converted them quite well. But I think
that's allowed. You're allowed to do that. That's okay.
Yeah. But how many times are you going to get away with that? You can't get away with that doing that every game, right?
Well, if you look at just their away form, I think they've scored 11 goals in 5 games on the road, something like that. So they're actually in not bad goal scoring form. Yes, there's overperformance, but if you look at their actual away form, they are scoring lots of goals, and I think that they're playing Arsenal at the perfect time with the Gabriel loss. So I'm not getting crazy here, but I just think Arsenal as well. Sorry, just before I talk about the bet, Arsenal have been in kind of job done mode for the last 3 or 4 weeks now. If you offered Mikel Arteta 1-0 right now, he'd take it. Right?
Yeah, obviously. It would take 1-0 against anyone.
Well, okay, there you go. So I don't know if that's necessarily true, but he'd definitely take it here. I think that.
I mean, come on, have you seen the state of football they've been playing? Of course, they'll be happy with 1-0.
Well, Arsenal, this is it, and I just think Arsenal are kind of they're treating every game like they're in March, April time, and they're really close. Like every game, it's kind of massive emotions. It's like playing for time. It's like huge reactions to goals. It's like if something goes against them, they're tearing their hair out. It's a long season. I think they do well to remember that a little bit more. And there's a lot of energy going into this, as is Arteta's way. But I just think 1.4, to cut a long story short, I think 1.4 on Arsenal's too short. I just think it's too short. They might win, but I can't have Arsenal at 1.4 here without Gabriel. Sorry. They've not been playing brilliantly, as you've just attested to. They've been getting results. And I think that for Tottenham, if you look at the Asian handicap, you can get Spurs at plus 1.25 at 1.98. So we win half the money. We win half our stake if Tottenham lose this game by 1 goal. I fancy Spurs to go there and cause problems.
Don't see it.
And if they score, if Tottenham go there and score, Arsenal need to get 3 for us to lose our bet. I think that leaves us in quite a strong position. I really do. I fancy Spurs to score. So I'm happy to take this bet. It's one of my more confident ones. Spurs plus 1.25 equals 1.98. What that means is if Spurs win, we win. If Spurs draw, we win. If Spurs lose by a goal, we still win half. If Spurs lose by 2 goals, then we lose. But that's not going to happen, so it's all good. So yeah, let's see. I actually think Spurs will get a result here. I think Spurs will get a draw.
Can't see it. Can't see it.
Okay, it's good to go head to head for a change. Let's talk about the final game of the weekend. It's the mighty Reds versus Everton at Old Trafford under the lights on a Monday night.
I'm buzzing for this.
Go on then, off you go.
I got Everton and value. Like United, they're not playing well. They're really inconsistent, even at home. A 1.77 to win at home. That's just too short. You can get Everton plus 3/4 at 1.89. So basically, if Everton lose by 1, you get half your money back. So you basically just really need the draw. I think Everton will go away and get a decent result here. Obviously, Moyes' old club as well. He's probably going to be really keen to get a result here as well. I'm not being impressed with United this season. Like I said, really inconsistent. I think Everton can go here and get a decent result.
Okay, so your official tip is
plus 3/4, yeah.
plus 3/4, and that means that if Everton lose by 1, you get half your money back, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I've got a tip about that then.
I've got a tip as well. I don't hate your tip,
Okay.
but I'm not going with either team. I'm going with goals.
Once you've taken off United hat off.
I'm happy to take it off. But one thing I agree with you, whether or not I agree United have been poor, I'm not so sure. But one thing I agree with is that United are still porous, right? Can still be got at. Still don't look watertight. Even in the games that they've won, like the game against Liverpool, Liverpool's XG was off the charts that game. We should have conceded a lot more than the one goal that we did, right? So Everton as well are okay in playing on the break. They've got exciting players like Iliman Ndiaye who can definitely hurt us. Grealish, if he gets on the ball and spreads it around and starts to dictate the game, which he's more than capable of doing, Everton can certainly hurt United. Be really surprised if Everton don't score. Likewise, I expect United to score. Playing at home, the attacking unit is starting to settle, is starting to adjust, understand each other, and puts us in good nick. By the way, I'd like to see a little bit more from Matheus Cunha. He played really well at Anfield, but apart from that, I've not seen as much. And Mbeumo looks like we're actually starting to see the real Brand Mbeumo now. Ahmad is doing a great job as a not proper wing back, which he hasn't had enough plaudits for. Shesko looks all over the place, so he needs to sort himself out. But Cunha is the one where you expect quite a lot. He knows the Premier League. He's an excellent player. We haven't really seen enough in terms of a goal-scoring threat from him. So this would be lovely to see him change that in this game. Either way, I still think United will score. And to get both teams to score at 1.8, I mean, I just don't see how that doesn't land. I really don't. Based on what you've said about Everton as well, gives me confidence. I mean, I think both teams will score in this game for sure.
All right, fair enough.
Cool. Let's do a recap. What's the official tips you're putting up?
So I got Leeds 0 on Asian handicap at 2.19, and then Everton plus 3/4 against United away.
Cool. All right. From my side, I've got quite a few tips for you lucky people out there. We're starting off all the way back with Chelsea. We've got Garnacho to get an assist against Burnley at 5.5. Really like that one as well, Then we've got the price of the season. Price of the season, people.
Yeah.
Matheus Fernandes, 3.5, 1 shot on target, 19 for 2 shots on target. Get on or miss out. Next up, we have got Wolves to win at home to Crystal Palace for a new manager bounce for Rob Edwards at 3.5.
New manager bounce metric.
Man City. Watch them win, having an XG of 2 goals less. Next, we have Man City to win away at Newcastle at even money. We have Leeds to beat Aston Villa at home at 3.0. We have Tottenham plus 1.25 on the Asian handicap at 1.98. And finally, we have both teams to score in Manchester United versus Everton. I made that 7 whole tips, 9 when we include yours as well. The Premier League is back, people. We have another solid December.
Make the most of it.
Solid 3 months until the next international break. As Martin Tyler would say, drink it in. Enjoy your football and take care of yourselves.
Cheers.